Hello and welcome to a short story scene. I'm your host, the storyteller, and here we have a tale called A Bushman Sung by Banjo Paterson. I'm traveling down the Castle Ray, and I'm the station hand. I'm handy with the robin pole, I'm handy with the brand, and I can ride a rowdy colt and swing the axe all day. There is no demand for the station hand along the Castle Ray. So it's a shift, boy, shift, for he isn't the slightest doubt where we got to make a shift to the station further out, with a pack horse running after, for he follows like a dog. We must strike across the country at the old jig-jog, and his old black horses I'm riding. If you notice that his brand, he wears a crooked R, you see, none better in the land. He took a lot of beating, and the other day we tried, for a bit of a joke, with a racing bloke for 20 pound a side. It was a shift, boy, shift, for there wasn't the slightest doubt that I had to make him shift, for the money was nearly out. He had cantered some winter with the other one at the flog. He's a right hot sort of pick-up with his old jig-jog. I asked the cove a shearing once along the Margagay. He shear none union here, say he. I called it scab, said I. I looked along the shearing floor before I turned to go. There were 8 or 10 dashed Chinamen and shearing in a row. It was a shift, boy, shift, for there wasn't the slightest doubt. It was the time to make the shift with the leprosy about. So I saddled up my horses, and I whistled to my dog, and I left my scabby station at the old jig-jog. I went to Illawarra, where my brother's got a farm. He has to ask his landlord's leave before he lifts his arm. The landlord owns the countryside, man, woman, dog, and cat. They haven't the cheek to dare to speak without the touch of their hat. It was a shift, boy, shift, for there wasn't the slightest doubt their little landlord God and I would soon have fallen out. Was I touch my hat to him, what I his blooming dog? So what makes him up the country at the old jig-jog? But it's time that I went moving. I've mighty way to go, till I drink artisan water from the 1,000 feet below, till I meet the overlanders with the cattle coming down. And I'll work a while till I make a pile, then have a spree in town. So it's a shift, boy, shift, for there isn't the slightest doubt we've got to make the shift to the station further out, and pack the horses runs behind us, for he follows like a log, and we come across of country at the old jig-jog. And that concludes our tale, A Bushman Sung by Banjo Paterson.